Hello, everybody. My name is ELYSE, and I'm here, one half of the production team of Two of a Kind. Unfortunately, MARQUAN isn't here this week. He's feeling a little under the weather, but that's okay, guys. Hopefully, he can hop on and either stream with us or maybe hop in audio to kind of check in on us and make sure that we're doing okay. But it is Wednesday, the hump day, and Two of a Kind is here to get you through that hump. We're halfway through the week, you guys. We just have a couple more days left. So we always start the show with how is the week going, or how did your week go? So personally, the week was interesting for me. It was a week where I got the opportunity to grow in a certain area, and that basically has to do with change. And I was just talking about it because even in today, if you guys notice, we're in a cool studio, same studio, different room of the studio. So it's fun to be in here. And I'm just like working on embracing change. So maybe that was just what the doctor ordered. So um, just been trying to get things ready for like the summer and all the plans that I have for the summer and things like that. The temperature is getting a little better. So especially for the burlesque community, we're looking at, especially out here in Vegas, we get the warmth a lot sooner. So I'm crossing my fingers that it stays that way because the weather has been absolutely ridiculous out here in Las Vegas. I don't know if anyone knows, but literally 2 weeks ago it was about 80 degrees outside, nice sun, no real wind, and then somehow within the past couple of weeks it has dropped down between 30 and 40 degrees. We have snow up on our mountains, and we actually had some hail, lightning, and everything else. Call it global warming, I'm not sure, but hopefully, crossing our fingers, we can get that early summer that we're used to out here in the desert so that we can start doing outside shows, outside venues, and try to bring Las Vegas local entertainment back to our locals, back to the tourists, and kind of get things, even if it's not fully moving, at least like halfway moving. So that's good. But I hope everybody else had a really good week. And if nothing else, I hope it was productive. I hope that you learned something new. And if it wasn't a blessing, I hope it was a lesson. So, also, what's been going on in the news is the Grammys. I don't know if anyone saw the Grammys, and I'm already smirking about it because it's this, in all honesty, I feel like it's the same thing every year with the Grammys. Somebody is upset with someone's performance. Either it's too sexual, or it's too political, or people think it's too sad or too somber. You can't please everybody. So of course, you guys know I'm talking about Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. I feel as if it was kind of like their Grammys. It was kind of like a very Black woman in music type of Grammy show. There was a lot of female performers who are known for kind of being more on the subversive, more direct, alternative side of things when it comes to societal standards. So it was really cool to see performers like Doja Cat and Megan, even like Dua Lipa. She's not Black, but she is a performer of color, as well as Megan and Cardi and all of them. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was well thought out, well put together. I was impressed. A lot of people were complaining that she chose to do Savage, which is a song that's been played out a million times, but that's what the Grammys want her to do. They want her to do the song that got her the most publicity. They want her to perform the song that she got the awards to. So it makes total sense that she would include Savage in her onstage performance. So with Cardi B, her performance was really, really cool. Everybody was emphasizing on her costume being like an 18, 20-pound costume. And, I don't know if, I don't know. I feel like it's used as a disclaimer for maybe like her dancing, like, oh, her outfit's like 20 pounds, guys. So we're gonna take it easy on her. But either way, Cardi B has gotten a lot better with her dancing. I will give her that. I mean, she could always dance. She just was never on beat. She was either a beat ahead or a beat behind everyone. Because being able to dance and being able to do choreography are two different things. I know a lot of freestyle break dancers. I know a lot of even like strippers, pole performers, things like that, where they're amazing dancers, but if you try to teach them a 5, 6, 7, 8, they're just like they can't do it. So I feel like Cardi B was one of those type of performers because as as we know, she was an exotic dancer prior to being a rapper and the love and hip hop thing. And when you are an exotic dancer, there's a lot of impromptu, there's a lot of freestyle, and you just kind of improv as you go. So going from that to a 5, 6, 7, 8, learning half counts, you know, 5 and 6 and 7. It's like I give her kudos. I give her kudos because if it's not what you do or not something that you've had experienced in doing, being able to do it in front of like celebrities on that caliber, like on a Grammy stage, it takes a lot of balls. So I give that to them. Love the stage setup. Love the stripper pole heel. I just wish there was more performers on the stripper pole. I just felt like, you know, as a former stripper and a burlesque performer, it's just that pole was so empty during the entire performance. She went up there and did one twirl, and that was it. Like, I feel like there was a lot of construction that was done to bring it onto the stage, but also at the same time, maybe it wasn't strong enough. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it wasn't strong enough for them to actually like be able to hold someone on the pole. Like that's the only thing I'm assuming. I'm like, maybe that's why she didn't get on the pole because although it looks like a stripper pole, it wasn't actually a functioning one. So I'm like, okay. Shout out I see Tiara, I see my sister Lauren. Hi to Albert. Thank you guys for tuning in. What did you guys think of the Grammy performance? And if you guys didn't see any Grammy performances, you can hop over to YouTube right now. You can definitely see them. Oh, look who joined
Can you
me.
hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go.
I was gonna say it's a little low, but I can hear you. I just like if I'm talking and you're talking, I won't be able to hear you. So I'll just like if I stop, it's just so I can hear you clearly.
Okay, let me just make
But
sure.
look it, I'm in the second studio here at the station.
Oh, I see. I'm in the living room here.
I
It's
know, but you got your shirt on, so you're
of course,
still, you
of
know,
course.
right, right.
Always got to
And I
represent.
love
You know,
how your wave cap is the
matches
flame.
the.
I see what I get it. It
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How's it
Well,
going?
we're going to take it back a little bit now that you're here and
How was
ask
your week?
you, how was your week? I know I already said how my week was. It was it's been all about me adapting to change. So I found it and being someone with CA with concealed anxiety, you know how I bubble. Unlike Marquand can tell you, I bubble. So having to adapt to things is probably one of the biggest hurdles for me. It's my biggest area of opportunity. And it was so funny because I had to adapt to change today. So when I came in today, I was just
What's going on?
I'm like, I could do this. I could do this because my anxiety was like ding, 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 ding. But besides that, I'm great. How is your week going?
My week has been going great. I've slowly but surely had to play Dr. Kwan with every member of the family except for the baby. She's been fine. She was out of harm's way, so she's good.
Right on.
Um, but everything else has been pretty great. It's pretty amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was just talking to Steph. I was telling him I was like, first I was talking to Marquand about having loose ends, and then he decides to tie the knot. So I guess I mean, if you have loose ends, tie them off. So you're over there playing Doc McStuffins now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we basically what I like to tell people is like I mean I say it all the time is counseling.
Yeah.
Counseling is
Oh,
amazing.
yes. Yes, about that. I was just reading your post and you were talking about how you have a person of color now. It's a guy?
Yeah. Okay. So now that we're married, we transition over from an actual counselor to a marriage counselor.
Okay,
Um,
right, right. More
and
specific.
the marriage counselor we have now, his name is Anthony Harris, and he's an African American. He's a black man.
All right.
So I was pretty
I'm
dope. It was pretty
excited to
dope.
see, like, I'm gonna want the feedback because I am a believer, and a lot of people have issues with this, but I feel like for people of color, they need a person of color as well to be their therapist. That's just me. I feel like, well,
Yeah.
maybe, like I said, from personal experience, I've had both. There's just something that resonates more with a person of color. You don't have to explain things as much
Yeah.
because they
Exactly.
just kind of like already have an understanding because they deal with it as well. Whereas like with other people, I had to, always try to explain like, no, I'm not angry. It's frustration. It's from this, it's
Yeah.
from that. Where I'm sitting there like, I know if I was talking to a brother, if I was talking to a sister, I wouldn't have to explain this right now. You know?
And that's where it comes to, because it's like some things you don't have to go deep into about why you feel that way or how you understand that or what's going on, because they're like, okay, I kind of see it, so you kind of mean this, and they just put it
Right.
into words for you. Like it's kind of great to have it. So it was definitely a nice transition, and the first session we had today was pretty cool. So I'm pretty doped up about it.
See, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Therapy is so important. Now we just need to figure out how to make the shit free. At least
Yeah.
easier and more accessible. Like
But I mean, if you listen, I mean, I'm not gonna
they
lie.
got payment plans for
It's
everything except therapy, I feel like.
you know what? True, and I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of expensive. But if you really, if you really got issues and you really want to work it out, man, you got to start somewhere. So
You have to. I feel like, in all honesty, it's very reap what you sow. So a lot of times, like it's kind of like when we were talking, and this was like months ago. This was months ago when we were first talking about therapy and stuff. And you had brought up the fact that when you had first gone to therapy, you walked in it with this idea like,
fix me.
all right, bro, fix me.
Yeah,
Make shit right. Make my
yeah.
brain work the way it's supposed to. Make me have proper feelings. Help me not over escalate things. And the counselor's looking like, I can't fix you. Like,
They're
that's
like
not what
the
it's about.
counselors. Yeah, they're sitting there like, okay, what do you need help with? I don't know, just fix me.
Right.
Like, what do you fix? What? Well, fix me. I'm broken. Just do your
Right.
job.
It's
Like,
like you almost have to do homework even prior to your first day there. You have
yes.
to mentally prepare yourself for the openness. But I I did probably a couple of therapy sessions with my sister because the way that they had it set up, we had therapy due to our parents' divorce, and our parents were worried about how we were taking it. And so
How
we
you
had
go? Yeah.
therapy like that. So they would have separate, like we'd all have separate sessions, and then every once in a while it'd be like me and my sister, me and my mom, me and my dad, my mom
Okay.
and my dad, my mom and my sister. But I've never done anything where it's like me and my sister or me and a partner I'm with, like continuously going to therapy where we both have things we're working on separately, but we come together like weekly, I'm assuming, or bi-weekly, and
Well,
like
the good
working
thing.
on it.
The
And
good.
it's so interesting to me. I'm super interested in like the aspect of accountability for sure. I think it makes
Oh
things
yeah.
very transparent. You're a Gemini, so I'd be shocked if you didn't have some kind of pen and pad or writing things down as you're like, oh,
As you
let me
know.
keep a note for later.
Right. So and the
Mhm.
good thing about it is the way we do it. It's for all everything's so virtual now. So just like
Okay.
me and you are sitting here on this FaceTime together, doing the show. It's the same with the therapist. Me and her get in front of the camera. We talk. No one over talks each other. We let each other get the points out the way, and we kind of deal with it just like that. So the
Hmm.
beautiful thing is we pay this fee a month, but with that we can schedule an appointment every day of the week if we wanted to. We can schedule an appointment at 10 p.m. if we wanted to. So it's pretty nice that we're able to do that. And let's just say because you don't have to just, let's just say it's in the middle of the week and it's not time for the session, but you got a quick thing you want to talk about. You can chat them, you can write them on chat, or you can get a phone call. You know, so it's
What
so many
is the
different
name of
ways.
this?
The app is called Regain.
Regain.
Yes. Now, when you
Okay.
sign up for the
And
app,
so you pay for a month. How many sessions do you get during a month?
unlimited. Everything's unlimited.
Excuse me.
Now, mind you, you can, when you go onto the app, they're gonna ask you if you're there for yourself or if you're there for, like, marriage or couples, whatever it is. And then if you're there for by yourself, it's another app it'll have you go download specifically for that too. So you don't have to just go for the one for the couples. You can go for the one for the regular therapy. That's where I did my therapy at, is the one with the regular app. And then I
Yeah.
transitioned over to, with me and my wife, we finally had to start getting along better. We transitioned over to co-parenting, to the big one. That was in person. So then when we finally realized, okay, maybe time is not right. We can't always be there on time. We can't always make it. So then I found out from the app I was using before that they have a couples app, and that's when I was like, bam, there we go. That's the issue, fix to our issue.
That is awesome.
You make a solution. So now that we're doing that, it's just great, to the fact that we do it early in the morning, because the kids, man, the kids are so, they are a
All up in
handful.
it,
So
all up in
yeah,
the business.
exactly. So we have to do
All
it
up
while
in
they
the
sleep.
business.
So we do it like 8, eight
Because
thirty in
I'm
the
sure
morning.
they're like looking at you and looking at her and looking at you like,
Yeah,
something's
exactly.
different and I like it.
Right,
I don't know what's
right.
going on, but
And then it's just certain things the kids don't need to hear. You know what I mean? So we have to have
mhm.
those conversations, and the kids don't need to hear that. So
Yeah.
we try to get it out the way while they sleep, or if not, we'll at least take them to their aunties or somebody to get it out the way, or to my mom, and just go to a room over there where the kids are downstairs, and then we'll do it that
And
way.
plus,
But we
audience
always find a
always
way.
changes the commentary too.
Yeah,
Like, audience always changes the commentary. Like, you guys may not say what you need to say as directly because you
the kids
got
are
like a
watching.
couple of eyes looking at you,
Exactly.
so it's better because you can really be authentic, even if it doesn't come out the best. You can be really authentic because you don't have to worry about like the mom and dad filter. Like,
Exactly.
I call it the teacher filter because I don't have kids, but it's usually the same one. Like, your voice kind of goes up a little bit because there's
Yeah.
kids around.
And my son is a
No,
very
but
smart young man. He repeats
I
everything.
am definitely like super interested, and so I'm gonna do my research and hopefully maybe I can start my own sessions. That
Yeah.
is really
And
awesome
and I'll
because
tell you
that's
from
been
the
the
jump.
hardest thing for me, is just yeah, basically trying to find a way to access it. Like, even now it's like I need to go and get like updated diagnosis on stuff, but it's like you don't even want to go to a hospital or anything like that just because of the germs. And so it's
Right.
like having this stuff kind of available online to just kind of like share your thoughts. Okay, I'm with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
News to
So
me, today
it's
years old. Regain. So it's
regain.
called Regain.
Regain. Regain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Regain. GAIN. Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty nice. So I'll tell you what. As you can see, it saved my family. So
Yeah.
definitely shout
Cool.
out to that. You know what I mean? So definitely appreciative on that one. Everyone needs to get therapy, whether
Shout
it's
out to Rube Mike. He said
facts, right,
everyone needs to get therapy, whether it's
in the black
couples or
community.
personal therapy. It's needed in the Black community.
And
Oh,
I would
yeah.
definitely, yeah, because I
We
like I
have
say,
to normalize it as Black people.
I was I was going to
We are
therapy
the
already.
lowest number of people that go to therapy. We have to start normalizing it and
I
stop
push.
making people feel weird about it.
And that's why do you think I talk about it so much on social media? Because I want people to realize that it's not a bad thing for you to go see somebody and go talk to somebody about your problems, but you have to be ready to open up. You have to be ready to talk. But I talk about it so much because I want somebody to be like, okay, well, now maybe I'm more comfortable if I see other people are talking about it. I can go and do it too, instead of me just sitting there saying, oh, I don't know about doing this because people may look at me weird. No, it's a part of life. You have
Hmm.
to be willing to grow. You have to want to find out what you need to work on and what you need to gain for. Like when you get your counselor, the first thing every counselor or therapist is going to ask you is, are you ready to take accountability for the issues that you have?
Woo!
Um, are you right?
Let's
Are
go.
you are you
Like,
ready?
don't waste my time.
Exactly.
They're
Are
like,
you
don't waste
ready
mine. I'm
to
not going to waste yours.
facts? Are you ready to try new ways that you haven't tried before without completely shut them down on first sight? They break everything down to get right to the point to let you know,
Okay.
are you here to grow or are you here just to bullshit? It pretty much is what they give it to you. But you have to be
Right.
willing to say, no, I know that there are issues and I know that I want to work on things. I know that there's going to be some problems, but I'm not going to sit here and say, no, I don't have any problems, because if I didn't have any problems, I wouldn't be here.
Right. Well, yeah, and I think there has to be the accountability of it, because I always think about the fact that people always say that they're aware of things, you know, like, oh, I'm aware of the person that I am. I'm aware that I could be a little abrasive. I'm aware that I can come off really direct. Okay, you're aware of these things, but do you hold yourself accountable for being overly
There you
direct? Do
go.
you hold yourself accountable for being like dismissive of people, or for being, you know,
And they
mean
say,
unnecessarily and things like that? It's like like, I know that you see it, but do you wear it as a like a badge of honor, or do you see it for what it is, which is your area of opportunity, like stuff you need to work on,
no, some of them,
you
and that's
know?
the thing. Some of them think just seeing it is the point of saying, okay, that is accountability. No, that's not accountability. You recognize it. You recognize what's going on. Accountability is trying to fix the issue, or at least work on what it is at hand. So,
Exactly. That's like my ex. He used to always say, like, I know I'm an asshole. You think I don't know I'm an asshole? And I'm like, but you don't hold yourself accountable for all the asshole shit that you do. You're just like, I'm an asshole. And
and that's the excuse.
so now you know. So like, I'm like, okay, is that supposed to make the pill easier to swallow because you're like standing on a soapbox and saying it? I mean, so there's two sides to the coin, because there are some people that argued, like, to me at least, I felt like he put the ball in your court. He's like, I'm an asshole. So at that point, it was up to you whether or not you wanted to stay. And it was like,
So that's when you'll take
yes,
accountability and say, well, maybe I did, but at least I wanted him to still take accountability for what he was doing.
right, right. And it's like, yes, I could have left, but I was trying to invest in the relationship. And so a lot of times, just like we talk about all the time, it's okay to change your mind when presented with new information. And so I
Facts.
think I kind of walk into situations with people with that optimism, like, well, maybe they just don't know. Like, like maybe if I have this conversation about accountability, what it looks like, or therapy, and what options we have, maybe like that's what it is. So I always give people initially the benefit of the doubt, but I hold therapy so near and dear to my heart. It was something that was successful for me, not only going through my parents' divorce, but even when it comes to trauma and my speech impediment. It's the reason why I can even talk now, is because speech therapy. So it's like, I'm definitely a firm believer in it. And so when I was with a partner that kind of just like, well, not kind of, was like a no-go on therapy, that's what really solidified, like, okay, I need to pull out stock.
Man, let me
I need
tell
to pull
you.
my stock out
Let me tell you.
because
Listen,
this is a bad investment and we need to move on.
I've always, I want to say this, I've always tried to recommend it, and it just kind of got pushed to the, like, we'll get to it later kind of thing. But then last go around, it was more the fact, like, that's the first priority. So
Hmm.
to see that the directive has changed so well, and then to see what it has actually done, um, I've always recommended it, and I will recommended it. I always will recommend it, because I just think that a lot of people won't realize what the issue really is until they're talking to a mirror, which I think a
Hmm.
therapist counselor is, right? Because there are a few things I thought I may have had down packed, and then there are some other things that came up, and I was like, oh, I didn't even recognize those, because to me it seemed normal, but to the outside world it seemed kind of like, oh, that's kind of standoffish, or that's kind of assholeish, or that's kind of careless. So it's like, oh, okay, now I
Mm.
can see what you mean by that. So it's just, I think some people would actually need that mirror to kind of reflect on themselves and be like, okay, now I can see where my area opportunities really are. And maybe this is a way I can go about working on them, instead of just saying, well, that's just who I am and it is what it is, you
And
know?
you know what? A lot of it too, it just needs to kind of spark something.
Yeah,
Like a lot of times people don't realize that they just needed help kind of like getting the ball rolling. And that a
right.
lot of their defense came from a place of being lost, like not really knowing what to do, not really knowing where to start, where to go from here, type of things like that. And
Right.
so a lot of people, they get defensive because they're really defeated. They're feeling defeated and they feel like they don't have any options left. So they start to I'm not trying to hear you. I'm not trying to
I'm
hear
not
you
trying to do this.
either. Cause like nobody is saying anything that I want to hear. Just
Right.
like leave me alone. So I think that like when we allow ourselves to have the conversations and we leave ourselves open to learning new things and to hearing other people's perspective on our situation, sometimes it's the spark, it's what lights our fire, and then we start being more proactive on our own. And there are some people, yeah, that you kind of walk them through the whole process from beginning of the therapy to the
To the
last day
end.
that they ever see you. But there's a lot of people that you can kind of initially kind of get them going and then they take off running and they're able to
Right.
be proactive and they're inspired. You know, it's kind of what I was talking to you about last show. It's like because you're doing therapy and you're seeing it work, it's like a positive cycle. You're seeing it work, so you're investing more into it, you're being
Right.
more productive with your growth, which in turn is giving you better results, which in turn is inspiring you, so then you're investing more. And so it's like the positive domino
It's a
effect
healthy. It's
because
a
you
very
see it
healthy cycle.
working. And it's like you keep watering the plant. Like
Yeah.
sometimes people, it's like once the plant has a flower, they're just like taking pictures of it. They're like snipping it, wanting to put, or you can
Um,
just keep watering it and you see it growing. Okay, so now I'm going to take better care of it. I'm going to give it a better pot and even better soil and filtered water. And so it's just like
yeah.
it's this snowball effect. And so it's really like positive to see. Like you can actually see a change in just how you hold your face. Oh, my sister
Ooh,
says,
that's
I think
that's
sometimes you
true.
can be open to being offended and making it a plan to move past it to get that help. I feel like some people don't go to therapy because they don't want to hear anything negative or self-reflect. Yeah,
I
I
definitely
think
agree,
that's
Lauren. I agree
huge.
with that
Like,
100%.
don't nobody want you telling them
Yeah.
about themselves.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie to you. When I went the next time after the first one and I kind of realized what I had to do to get it to work, um, I got offended. Just like she said, I did get offended or I got insulted. Same difference.
Mm-hmm.
When he pretty much just told the truth. You know what I mean? So um, after he said it, I realized I got offensive. Well, I got insulted, and then I kind of realized I got insulted. But then I realized, why did I get insulted when he was just telling
Mm,
me the truth, right? So, and he really gave me like 4 or 5 minutes just to sit there after what he said. So it's like he knew that I was processing it in my head. So it's like he just must have knew. And once I kind of realized that, I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna get my feelings hurt a little bit. You know, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna have to take a little bit more accountability than I want to, because the longer I take for this process to work, it's more money out of my pocket that I have to spend to do this. Um,
mm-hmm.
and I just started to realize that it's easier to just take accountability to man up and say, okay, you know what, you're right. For example, if something happened, let's say, I don't know, I was supposed to fill the tank up for about 2 or 3 days and I just keep leaving it where it's at. And then she gets mad at me and yell at me. I have to be like, okay, you know what? I apologize. I should have got it done when you first asked. I shouldn't have taken so
Right,
long. Let
right.
me go do that right now so that we can get this out the way. You have the right to be upset. I'm working. I'm just about to
Mm-hmm.
get it done. Instead of me saying, oh my goodness, it's just gas. It's not like it's on E. Why you tripping? Get out of my
Right.
face.
Instead of trivializing it, of
There
just
you go.
saying,
Instead of
okay, I
instigating.
acknowledge that this isn't the first time we've talked about this, so I'm not going to
Exactly.
sit up here and act like you just came out the gate yelling. Like, I'm going to acknowledge
Exactly.
it's been a couple days and I have thought about it and then said, man, never mind. And then I thought about it and then I said, tomorrow. So I get why you're upset because I did do
Exactly.
that.
And all I can do is apologize to you, make it right, and then I still have to deal with the consequences if you want to be mad.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
No,
how it
and you
is.
know what? I was just talking to a friend about this, and she had brought up um, that everyone gets offended so easily. Everyone's always offended by things, and social media, Can't say anything on social media. People get super offended right away.
I
And
don't
I
care.
was having this conversation. So I want to talk to you about my theory. I have a theory.
Oh, let's
Okay.
hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
All right, here's my theory. So my theory is that because we are able to control who comments and who says things on our social media, because we can construct it to be our own little world,
Uh huh.
we've become more sensitive because now it's like we go days with just people agreeing with us because they're people that follow us and people follow us because they like what we say and they agree with us, and if they don't, we block them. Okay, you're out of my world. You're not in my world anymore because my world is you agree with me. So then people make this, and some people have it filtered more than others. Some people don't even allow you to comment. You can't even make a comment on their post. They just turn the comments off. Or
Facts.
they can make it to where you specifically can't comment or you can't even see it. So it's like it's this perfectly created world, right? So
Just for
a
them.
lot of times I think because of that and because we have such an oversaturation of it, like we're always on social media. If it's not Twitter, it's Instagram. If it's not Instagram, it's Snapchat. If it's not Snapchat, it's Facebook, or it's what's the new one? Clubhouse or
Oh yeah. TikTok.
Twitch, or there's all these other ones where we create these same kind of simulated worlds. And so it's like we go out into the real world and it just feels like, man, everybody's just like arguing with me today. Everyone's just like disagreeing with me today. Da 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 da. It's like, now,
No.
is it a big group of people that's disagreeing with you, or do you live in such a yes, dear, yes, you're right, saturated world with this perfect social media that you've created for yourself that this person saying no sticks out more to you? It's like a sore thumb.
And
It's almost
that's
like if everything in your house you turn to red, the first time you saw something blue, even if it was a tack, you'd see it from across the room.
you would.
And sometimes I feel that our mindset over the past decade of social media, or 2 decades of social media, we've really like our brain is programmed to not even notice that we're so sensitive to a contrary opinion or just a different opinion, because we make it so that only people that respond are like the people that are like gassing us up and like telling us what we want to hear and things like that. And so it's like, as much as people try to talk about like troll pages, and I'm not trying to offend you, but your page would be considered more of a troll page. Like you put things on your page to be controversial and subversive. Like it's supposed to make people stop scrolling. I feel like you guys actually have the one up because you guys have actually manipulated the idea. It's like, I have come into your little perfect world just to say shit world, because you realize, like I noticed that those, like, as much as we can't stand trolls, I feel like you guys have to be there for balance. You guys are the ones reminding people this is fucking Facebook. Like, you realize this shit isn't fucking real, right? Like, bitch,
It
if we was
is.
face to face, neither one of us would be saying what we're saying. Like, you
It
realize
would be.
that, right?
It would
And
be a
so
whole
it's
different
like,
ball game.
I started showing love to my trolls. I started being like, you know what, I fucks with you. You're annoying as fuck, but I fucks with you because you know what? I need that balance. Like, up until today, Wednesday, it's been like 3 days of people telling me, yes, amazing. Woo, yes, queen. You better tell it, period. And then this motherfucker goes, fuck you. You know what? Fuck you too. Like, I need that balance.
Listen,
I don't need too many people saying yes because it's gonna mess with my psyche. But I'm a firm believer in that. I think that's why people argue more online, because it's just like, I have 40 people that agree with me. So how is it that you're not agreeing with me? Those 40 people you handpicked and allowed to view your page on the basis that they always agree with you. You realize
yeah,
that because he's one person and you're only seeing one because you've blocked all the people that think like him. You've blocked them off. That's why you have 40 that say yes and one that say no. But if you unblocked, you probably have the same amount on each side. And that's what
yeah,
people
and
don't get. And so it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm turning over a new leaf in social
and I
media.
don't
I'm
get
like,
I don't get why
I'm
people
like,
are on.
okay, I figured out the fucking algorithm.
I don't get why people are on social media and you don't want difference in opinions, because that's what social media is for. You know what I mean? You want to see
Mm-hmm.
different opinions. And me, like you say, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have that one out to say people, okay, well, there's going to be maybe four people that agree with me, maybe four people that disagree, and then maybe three or four that are neutral. You're going to get that amount because I'm not going to block anybody. I love having those
Right,
difference in opinions. I love digging in people's heads. Or why do you think like that? Okay, well, what makes you think that it can go this way or it can go that way? I'm not going to block you. Let's argue. Well, debate. I like
right,
to say debate. They say argue. I like to say debate. Call it what you
right.
want.
And for me as well, I noticed that even for the people that do comment or that do participate in it, it's like they get lazy. You know, they make these posts that that can spark real conversation and
Facts.
like real debates and like a real difference in opinion. And then they're like, okay, wait, y'all making this too serious now. It wasn't even supposed to be all that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why are you stopping this? Like, wait
Don't
a
stop it.
minute.
Like
Like, now it's too deep. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit
you
drives
have
me
to.
nuts. I'm like,
You have to realize if you want something to be talked about on Facebook or on social media, when you have difference in opinions, that's the goal. Because when you have so many different people with difference in opinions, not only are you going to be interacting with them, but your other friends or other people on the post will start interacting. Then you get more people. It's just they don't realize that it's a better algorithm that way, other than just sitting there saying, "Well, I only want this one kind of person to sit here and comment with me, the same people all the time, so it gets circulated around the same people all the time."
my
It's
sister said,
ridiculous.
you don't want to tell your crazy friend they're crazy. They don't want the tantrum. They're keeping that person with the
Uh,
yes dear bubble because people don't know how to disagree. They just want to be heard. And maybe that's what, you know what, maybe that's what I'm going to start doing.
yeah.
When somebody makes a post, I'm going to be like, are you just wanting to vent? Like, do you just want me to hear you? Or
Do you want to
like,
talk
are
about
you, is this for like, is this open for discussion? Like, can I give you my opinion on this? Or do you just want to state this as a, is this a rhetoric, sir?
Just let it be
Or
known
ma'am?
which one it is. Because you don't
No,
have to sit here and just you don't have to sit here and say it's open for discussion. Then when you get the discussion's going, it's like, oh, why do you have to make it so serious?
right. I'm like,
You
is it
can't you
serious or
can't
am I just better at this than you?
you can't pick and choose what you wanna talk about on here if you say it's open for discussion.
Right. Yeah. My sister said venting or solution. Right. I'm
You
like,
know
are
what?
we venting or do we have a solution? No, it actually came up today. Lauren was on the thread too. So this woman, I went to high school with her and she posted, she's today years old to find out the term cisgender. She's today years old. So she's like, cisgender, they're always coming up with a new label for things. What the fuck is cisgender? So my sister hops on and is like, us, we're cisgender. Cisgender are people that are like, hey, I was born a boy, so I'm a boy. I was born a girl, so I'm a girl. Okay. And so this other girl goes, oh my God, yeah, I was reading this article. Now they want us to call them a they, them. And so I respond and I go, you don't know what you're talking about.
Uh, uh,
Like
uh,
I just kind of said it. I was like, you actually don't know what you're talking about. Did you read the title of the article or like the actual article? Because cisgendered people are not they them. I'm dating a they them, so I can explain it to you if you like to know. You know. And so what does she default on? God made men and women. The rest is for the birds. And I was like, all right. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I was like, you know what else God made? You're ignorant ass. So these are things, and I say that to her. And then she goes, oh, you're not going to, no, you're rude and you're disrespectful and this and that. And you give respect and I'll give respect. And I was like, I said, nah, fuck that. Respect is earned. It's
it's a
not fucking
two-way street.
given. You came up here and I checked your ass and you're mad because you got checked. You didn't expect somebody that actually knew what the they them thing is about to come on here and check you.
And
And
correct it.
I went to high school with this girl. I don't want her to walk around thinking that cisgenders are they thems because that's false information. I said, and she was like, well, you just could have corrected me. You didn't have to tell me I don't know what I'm talking, but you don't know what you're talking about. Shut the fuck up. Mind your cisgendered, boring ass life. You know what queers don't talk about? Straight fucking people. We don't give a fuck about you guys. I don't make topics
Yes.
about cisgendered people. I don't make topics like, oh my God, I just saw a man and a woman kissing each other. They could have had same breath and their teeth fell out and they was both ugly, but I'm not gonna sit. I was disgusted by seeing this man and this woman kiss. Queer people don't give a fuck about y'all. But it's like it comes down to the whole thing where it's like, well, I just don't like it. Bitch, I don't like you. These are things. Like,
It's
what?
funny because I've heard that before. I've heard plenty of people talking about it. My god sister, you know, she's a part of that community, and she says it all the
Mm-hmm.
time. She's like, people are always worried about this and that, but we don't sit around all day talking about, hey, did you see Mike and Sarah? We don't sit around and
I
talk about
know.
that all day. We don't sit around doing that, and I'm like, oh,
My
crazy.
question is, when can I finally hold straight people accountable for being so concerned with my sex life? Because that's what my sexual orientation is all about. It's about my sex life. Why are you so curious about my sex life? Like, why do you
Yeah,
like you
I'm
want to
only
have sex with
convinced.
me? I feel like you want to have sex with me because it's like, especially people who get really inquisitive about it. I'm like, why? Like, I never ask straight people like, so you like as a girl, like you fuck guys, like are you into like penises and like the balls too? How is that? Like when it goes
No.
inside, is that like a but the first thing they want to know is like, how did two women have sex? Like, bro, one, let's not act like you don't watch porn. Two, let's not act like you don't know how to get to porn to see two women have sex. Three, if you want me to create a fantasy in your head that I'm personally in, and that's why you want me to tell you, like, because you want me to be a part of it, like, bro, just say that. I have a fee, but just say that. Like,
Instead of beating around the
like,
bush,
like,
let it be known what you really want.
right, like, I'll give, yeah. I'm like, we can do POV, JLR, just like, just be real
Oh man, it's just that's why I try to tell people, man, you
with
can't go into
yourself.
everything. You can't go into everything thinking sexually. You go into it all like that, and it all turns into just a lust
Well,
thing
it's
more
like
than
people
anything.
don't want to admit that that's what it's about. Like, everyone always, like, I remember I had a friend who her favorite thing when someone would ask her, because she's lesbian, so when people would ask her about like, are you gay? Like she'd be like, that's so inappropriate. We're at dinner. And they're like, what do you mean? And she's like, so do you fuck guys? And they're like, why did you? And she's like, that's what you're asking me.
Uh.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could ask a queer person about their sex life, but it's not weird. But then when somebody says the same thing about like a straight person, like, so when you say that you have sex with women, like, what does that mean? You know, it's like,
It's
well, what does it mean when you have sex with women? Like, it's private, right? Like,
but you know, a lot of people. That's the problem. And I've seen that most people that do that are having their own issues in their own sex life, right? And when they're having their own issues, they yeah, you know what I mean. They tend to want to go off of what other people are doing or what everybody else has going on, or they try to find solutions that how they can fix the issues they have. So it's very weird that they dive so deep into it. But
yeah,
before, I used to be very open about it. You know, now of course, out of respect for my wife, you know, I keep everything a secret because she may not want everything out there the way I talk about it.
right.
You know, so it's kind of
Well, I mean, it's about like adapting to who you're with. But I mean, like, I've had people like, even like, they want me to do demonstrations with my hands. They're like, so are you guys like, and
oh
I'm
shit.
like,
You should just start opening up Pornhub for them.
right. I'm like, okay, so get a pin www.pornhub, all one
You
word,
got to
no
be like,
space, no underscore, .com// lesbian scissoring.
or
You need me to spell that?
or you gotta just
LES.
take it. You gotta be like, let me see your phone. I'll show you real quick, and then go type it in and show.
Right. I'm like, no, I feel like everybody wants to talk about everything and be worried about everything except what they need to be worried about,
Themselves,
which is themselves,
themselves.
which is
Facts.
really themselves.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, 100%. If you don't worry about yourself, you'll
I'm
be
like, work on you.
too lost in the
Like, you
sauce.
know me, I always get super sarcastic. I'm like, I really hope that you have taken a multivitamin and and like a glass of water along with all of my goddamn business. Because if not, like,
What's really going on?
right, like, bitch, do you moisturize? My
Right.
sister, oh shit, it went away. I can't see what she just said, but it was something about some BS she was talking about.
Yeah. If you're curious, say so. Cut the crap.
And right,
Yes.
right. If you want to know,
Oh
just
my
snap.
goodness. Is it that time already?
Oh yeah,
Well,
it's been going fast. It
I know.
has.
I see. It's
That's
going
what
by
she
too
said.
fast. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, I was just watching The Office earlier, so I feel like I've been on a that's what she said rant. Like nobody can say anything. Like, can you pull on that? I'm like,
that's what she said.
oh my
Well,
God. Okay, well,
we will definitely catch you
you can
guys next
find
week.
the my awesome co-host here, Marquan, on Facebook under Marquan Thomas,
There
and
you
on
go.
Instagram under Just Quani,
Two
two
N's and
S's,
I.
Just and Quani, two M's and I, no E.
There you go. No E. You can find my beautiful co-host on Instagram as the Marilyn with Melanin. That's the Marilyn with Melanin. You can also see her on Facebook as ELYSE ELAIN. You got it here on the hottest
Government.
radio station on the planet every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Hot 702.5 p.m. Or sorry, Hot 702.5 FM. Let's go.
You got it? All right. Peace, love, and
Love
hair
and
grease,
hair grease.
guys.
All right now.
Until next time. Bye. We did it. Oh, 555, make a wish. Mm-mm-mm.